Dear Donald Trump supporters, I would like to remind you, all of you, that we're nearly 3 months into this, quote, presidency, unquote, and he didn't lower prices on day one. His words, not mine. And here I'm talking about Donald Trump, obviously. In fact, prices are higher, not lower. He couldn't end the war in Ukraine in 24 hours, or even before he took office. Again, his words, not mine. In fact, Russia has largely ignored Trump's efforts to end the war and refused to sign the ceasefire deal that he bullied Ukraine into signing a few weeks ago. Additionally, since Trump's retaining into power, Russia has accelerated its offensive attacks within Ukraine. He hasn't ended the war in Gaza very quickly. His words, not mine. In fact, Israel broke and ended the ceasefire deal that they negotiated during the Biden administration and has ramped up its attacks within Gaza over the past few weeks. This has gone beyond retaliatory strikes for what happened on October 8th. This has gone almost to the point of genocide. But let's talk about what Donald Trump has done so far. Thousands of federal workers have been fired and unemployed because of his Doge department and an unelected, unappointed government worker of his, Elon Musk. Groceries and gas prices have not lowered, but have risen. Farmers are losing jobs because of cuts to U.S. aid and tariffs by Donald Trump. He has hired inept loyalists, unqualified people whose only qualification for Donald Trump, in his eyes, is because they kiss his ass to key government positions. Inflation is not lowering. It's up. Plane crashes are at a record rate because Trump fired hundreds of FAA employees, creating an unsafe situation, all because they're people of color or women. He is signing executive orders that directly violate the United States Constitution. ICE officials are holding American citizens in direct violation of the Fourth Amendment to the Constitution. They have threatened our allies with military intervention and unreasonable high tariffs, initiating trade wars, creating chaos by firing thousands of government workers unnecessarily and shutting down important government websites, firing government workers who actually took care of our nuclear weapons, attacking the rights of the LGBTQ, weakening NATO and European and Pacific alliances, putting us in greater danger of attack, attacking diversity and the arts, starting a trade war with Mexico, Canada, and will cost the American consumers way too much, withdrawing ourselves from the environmental protections, including the Paris Climate Agreement, abandoning Ukraine by stopping military aid. He and his Vice President, J.D. Vance, verbally harassing and bullying President Zelensky at the Oval Office. Playing golf and dancing while wildfires were raging in North and South Carolina. Stock market crashes at a record rate that this country hasn't seen since the Great Depression, the aftermath of the 9/11 attacks, the 2008 crisis, and especially the COVID-19 crisis, which Donald Trump refused to do anything about until it was far too late. Veteran services are being cut. And I can attest to this because I have friends and family members who were veterans of the United States military. He pardoned 1,500 violent domestic terrorists responsible for the attack on January 6, 2021, under Donald Trump's orders, defying and ignoring orders from federal judges. The latest one bringing a United States citizen deported by accident or on purpose. I'm thinking it was on purpose. An American citizen. And speaking of which, sending several innocent Venezuelan immigrants to a harsh prison in another country, in this case, El Salvador. Violating human rights. Playing golf while the remains of 4 American soldiers came back from Lithuania after they died. Signing numerous anti-LGBTQ executive orders. Done away with diversity, DEI in our government to the point that we have the perception that Donald Trump wants a whites-only government. Trump issuing an executive order that seeks to ramp up logging across the United States National Forest System and the Bureau of Land Management, managed lands that are nearly 280 million acres. He wants a $92 million military parade, not to honor our veterans, not to honor our current members of the military, not on July 4th, but on his birthday. He removed members of the Presidential Advisory Council on AIDS and HIV. Implemented tariffs in health agencies, including the CDC's HIV Preventive Division. Implemented massive tariffs on Chinese imports, resulting in higher prices in this country. Wants to implement tariffs on pharmaceuticals. Trump ended funding to go into the United Nations UN Food Program, emergency programs helping to keep millions of people fed and alive in Afghanistan, Syria, and Yemen, and 11 other impoverished countries. Trump having the gall to say that the Nazis treated Jewish concentration camp prisoners with love and generosity. I don't think I need to go on, honestly, but this is where we're at. And the fact is, this is not fake news or anything else like that. I just need to quote the son of a bitch verbatim, saying that he wanted to end the war in Gaza very quickly before he took office. One example. And he didn't. It's just a shame that Donald Trump supporters rather play this mental gymnastics game, jumping through hoops, trying to defend his lies and propaganda, than rather simply doing nothing other than holding him to his word. But here's the truth. No one told him to promise lower prices on day one. He did. That he would claim to end the war in Ukraine within 24 hours, even before he took office. He did. Or that he would promise to end the war in Gaza very quickly. All of it was his words. He did. He made the choice to tell those lies he told, because he knows that if he were honest with the American voters during the 2024 election, he would not have won that election. There are many reasons why I truly believe that Donald Trump will go down as the worst American president in the history of the world. The worst world leader ever. But one of the biggest reasons for that is his supporters. And the fact they never hold him accountable for anything that he says or he does. He can tell a lie whatever lie he wants to tell and push whatever propaganda he wants to push. And they're going to shamelessly make excuses for him. So there's no incentive for him to care at all about keeping his word or making promises that he knows he can keep. Because the cult of Trump will pivot, change their minds, contradict themselves, and defend whatever bullshit excuses he feeds them for why and what he said was never going to actually happen. Donald Trump, if he makes it through the next few years to 2028, which I really doubt, will go on to become the worst president, the worst world leader in history. CTP, know the truth. God bless. Peace to the left, justice to the right.